Finally, after about 2 hours, darned if he didn't find him. You know, she'd actually come up here 40 years before. People care.
To the world, they were a miracle, but how long so fantasy lasts? Finally, something to believe in, a hope, a dream that people come around. And did this world know who they were? Just five baby girls who were growing up. And people think just say that ain't afraid to see them. They were just a dream that lies in. Most people are fortunate. They grow up in oblivion about the circumstances of their birth, in the earliest years of childhood. But there are the reminiscences of the family, memory by the years, and the snapshots in the family album. There's usually no more than that. And a little wonder of each birth remains as an inheritance for each individual. It's different with ourselves. So many words, so many pictures survive. We are at a loss to interpret them.
I'm very happy here in Calgary. The people aren't too bright. Well, you know, but they need it. I think I do a good job.
The doctor, we rely mostly on our friends. A midwife is all I've ever needed.
We've always lived here. Corbeil's our home, and we don't intend to leave just because times are good. I have a family to take care of, and my friends are important to me.
I live alone. Don't have many friends.
Everything that happens to us is God's will. Why, we don't need a doctor. Our lives are in the hands of God.
Maybe the people can't understand what I can do for them. But what I'm doing is needed. Exactly, you know?
There's a lot of talk about relief here. I guess it's the popular thing. I mean, to let the government take the load until it's paid for the times that we live in.
Most people can't afford to pay me in cash. So I don't mind selling for farmers' produce. Besides, the government pays me a fair allowance.
Well, I've got my pride, and I pay for what I get with money. I'm working to my farm, so I wouldn't have to go on relief. So when my wife became pregnant, I could afford to get a doctor.
When I first saw Mrs. Dionne, gosh, she's in such terrible pain, I told her to get to bed immediately. But did they listen to me? Couldn't they see that what she was doing was killing her?
My faith is in the hands of God.
I can't make them understand. I'm a medical man, not a social worker.
There are many riddles in our lives, some of which we've given up hope, never finding full answers to. Anyone who's examined the hundreds of thousands of words that were written on that day, May 28, 1934, will perhaps wonder how there can be any mystery left. But the stories were told so often, they changed in the telling. Key members of the cast, each abided by their own version, insisting theirs was the only truth. By the time we were old enough to understand, truth had faded into legend, memory into myth. I survived again, at 1 a.m. I was in tremendous pain, starting to break as the pain became too intense.
Madame Nicole, come quickly. My wife needs you.
In 18 years, I'd lost only one baby. But now I'd lose another. Elvira's body was bloated and swelled so much that her toes had disappeared.
My God, what am I going to do with 5 babies? It was not enough to look after one more, but how will I manage to look after 5? Why me?
Poor Papa. How could he know that being able to afford us was to become the least of his worries? No. This house was never to be the same again, thanks to Dr. Defoe and his super efficient staff of nurses. Stand aside, everyone, and get out of my way. The man and he sent me this when you're gonna do all that I say. 'Cause I'm super, and I'm gonna take this place up right. You will see what I mean. Built a shell on the wall, ooh, that turns around. Still rise together today. You'll be here and now, we're all gonna my way.
The first time I heard about the Quintuplets, it was quite by accident. I was flipping through the American. There was a small byline about these 5 baby girls born in Northern Ontario. Didn't believe a word of it. You know what they say, believe nothing of what you hear and half of what you see. So I called this Defoe guy, who was supposed to be the baby's doctor. He answered all the questions I could think of, so I was convinced. As soon as I hang up, I sent down 3 of my best reporters, including Gordon Sinclair, and one of my best cameras crew up there. This is just what we've been waiting for. Some good news. You see, this was a depression, and the people needed something happy to brighten their lives.
The star assigned me to the story, even though I was supposed to be in Africa at the time. And my stories were appearing dating from there. Made the job somewhat dicey. Anyway, I arrived up at the farmhouse with a carload of supplies and a nurse. Mrs. Dionne took a strong dislike to her, and she said in French, I knew enough French to know what she was saying. Are you in English? Are you in Anglais, you know? And the girl said, yes. And you speak no French? And, no. Are you a Catholic? No. How now? And that was in English style of, how'd you go? Well, she was most upset about that. Of course, it was foolish of them to send her. An English-speaking Protestant, yeah, what a foolish thing.
We wanted some more shots of Papa Dionne, so we figured if we focused our cameras on the walk down the privy, well, they'd eventually have to go the other 50. But they never did. Here he comes! Are you prepared for the responsibility? What do you think will happen to them? Well, they live. What are you doing, Mr. Dionne? The way people talk, you think I should be in jail. Just please leave me alone. No! Get off my property right now! I'll be back on the flying street as the Western Parade leads its way to the Century of Progress World's Fair Chicago, reopening its gates for 1934. And so we have been to visit this brilliant exhibition of man's achievements, and if there's been some concern that the fair may suffer due to the loss of Sally Rand, last year's headline attraction.
The show was really going downhill. We had to do something about our new ideas, and I was doing a very casual thing. I was flipping through the pages of the Chicago American, and almost at the very end of the paper, I saw a little 5-line squib. Quints, born to Calendar, Ontario, Mr. and Mrs. Olive Dionne. So I looked at it again. Quints. Look, we have a life exhibit. I don't get it.
What the devil is a quintuplet?
It means 5 babies born to 1 female, you know.
Can they do that?
Sure. Don't you see me taking and put them on exhibit here?
My God, this is it.
Where's Calendar, Ontario?
Hold on, I'll try the Canadian content. Yeah, I'd like to know where Calendar, Ontario is located.
Where?
Oh, thank you.
Well, where'd they say? Where's Calendar?
North of Toronto.
That's right. So is the North Pole.
We hired an old Lockheed plane to Toronto and spearmint his newspaper friend. I can't remember the name now, but we never stopped talking about the idea. You see, we thought we had the hottest thing in the world. Father Ritzy. I don't
Chicago promoter about to kidnap our Quints. Money grubbing parents, play their exploit children. They quit for beating on their afternoon. That's not from Chicago. Please help in danger of Chicago tour proceeds.
Something must be done for the Dionne Quintuplets. I've got sacks of mail in the office demanding government action. For their own sake as well as our government's image. The Quintuplets must be protected.
Well, Mr. Premier, what do you propose? The father's trying to stick him in a freak show in Chicago.
Maybe we could provide financial assistance for the family.
Nonsense! What I propose is this. We'll take them away from the parents and make them wards of the state.
But Mr. Hepburn, can we do that?
I don't care if we can or not. That's what we're going to do.
So the government claims the Quints and theirs, they belong to the people of the land.
It all in the town would not fight, but people wouldn't understand.
You can't bring the Quints alone. The needy and the blind is completely controlled, so the public make them all their own. Until they were 12 years old. So if the Quints are so we would carefully they fall.
They treat them scientifically and to the public show.
That they were the luckiest kids alive, and the government's help, they would surely survive. They made an ideal donation, and their lives would be the public's creation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Oriental Theater in Chicago are proud to present the world's most famous parent!
Mrs. Dionne and myself are glad to have the opportunity to thank the people of the United States for their interest in our babies.
A French Canadian farmer, a wit collar several sizes too large for him, and his buxom wife, a dimpled woman on whom greatness has been thrust, came to Chicago today, bewildered by it all.
We have confirmed reports of the Dionne consuming 60 bottles of ginger ale and countless dishes of strawberry shortcake during their first 2 days here in Chicago.
so we thought we'd better get the best informed Canadian source we could think of. And that was Mary Pickford. Now she said, get what you think you should get, but get it in cash. So we did.
I remember one movie, The Country Doctor. Well, they made several, you know. Anyway, it was a real hit. You see, people wanted to see the Quints. They wanted to know what Defoe and Dionne and the whole experience was really like. And Hollywood gave them what they wanted.
Quiet on the set. Roll it.
Gosh, I never in my whole life have seen a didn't kind of near the envelope. Just think of it. But my friends, what will they say?
I hate to think.
Oh, you ought to be a proud man, Oliver. I ought to be dead. No, don't say that. Go to Mama now. Smile for her. Tell her you are happy. Tell her you are proud. Tell her you love them all. Sure there ain't no more.
Cut and credit.
All roads lead to Calendar. Yes, Canada's darling Quints are there for you to enjoy. Only 6 hours from Toronto, Quintland is open 6 hours a day from Monday to Saturday. This is a miracle of nature no one should miss. There's absolutely no charge for doing these darling little girls. So like they say, come up and see us sometime. Oh, yes, I remember the Quints. We went to see them in Calendar. My parents were teachers from Windsor, and that's probably why we had such an interest in children. Yet I think we were like all the other thousands of tourists, drawn to see a wonder of the world, something we'd never see or hear of again in our lifetime. It was really very exciting.
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. We'll never stop talking about it. I remember it was on Labor Day, and all the parking lots were full, and the cars were stretched all the way down to the highway. Some people walked for miles, but nobody ever complained. Everybody was so thrilled. My gosh, they were cute. They had so much character.
Oh, yes, the Quints. I went to see them many times in the nursery. Oh, they were so cute. Every day the line would take forever, but no one was ever disappointed. And in that line, you would meet the most interesting people. Well, I remember this couple from Chicago who came to Calendar to get a quick look at the Quints instead of going to Florida for their annual vacation. That's how popular they were.
a doctor. I am, yeah, and well, now I'm kind of doctor, general manager, and publicity. Anyhow, I had a swell time. I like this job because you get to meet so many darn swell fellas. I wasn't especially bright at school. Well, I got pulled along, you know. I'd rather be reading Nick Carter than a book on medicine. That's quite true. Anyhow, well, after I got through, well, I had a family, you know. And they were very ambitious, very aspiring. They wanted to go places. I just wanted to go back in the bush and be quiet.
Germany insists on an army, navy, and air force.
You tried to survive the Civil War.
The U.S. Senate, after 8 weeks of debate, passed the single largest appropriation in history, a $4,880,000,000 relief bill.
But the major news story in March is that Annette has cut her first tooth. Then how about the sugar bummy
Double, nurse, we want to see our children.
Oh, fine. You may come to the court. Dr. Defoe has given his permission. But you other children may not come near them. Germs, you know. Look, you must follow the rules, same as everyone else. No one is to handle babies except Dr. Defoe and the nurses on duty. Anyone with a cold is abandoned. Anyone entering the nursery must wear a white robe, face mask, and soft-soled shoes.
Well, we're the parents.
Dr. Allen Brown orders must be followed.
And what is your position here, Dr. Brown?
I'm in charge of their physical welfare. Their diet and environment are my responsibility.
May I ask a few questions about your methods?
Certainly.
What is your idea of the ideal weight for a child?
The child should be slim, the diet must be strict.
And at what age should the tonsils be taken out?
Not before the umbilical cord is cut.
My full name, Emily Marie Trent. I like to play tricks. I was the first to write my name. My favorite color is pink. That stupid man Brown, him and his scientific feeding.
But Dr. Brown is the most important baby doctor in the world today.
Huh. He started at Quints. He was forcing the girls to eat greenish mush. Babies should be plump. They should have big soup, baked potatoes, fresh bread, and plenty of milk.
Prune juice is to be introduced on October the 12th.
Have them on October 26th.
Stray vegetables on January 5th.
Time to make footprints.
Don't forget fingerprints, snap for blood groups.
Measure their skull and ears.
Count every mouthful of food.
They will dress in the same clothes.
Dance the same dance.
Sing the same song.
Play the same games.
I want my baby back.
Check their emotional upset.
Social success.
Self-control.
Compliance.
I am Cecile Maria Milda. I like music, especially singing. People say I'm dainty. I like the color blue.
Dr. DeVoe, William Blatt's here from the Institute of Child Study. I'd like to suggest some ways of raising those children.
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'll be right up.
Yes, I am Yvonne and Wilderati. I am very energetic and demand my rights. People say I'm the most grown up. I love the color mauve.
We want to see our children. We brought their brothers and sisters with us.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dionne. The risk of infection is too great. Maybe tomorrow.
But there will be no kidding, frightening, coaxing, or lying to these children.
I understand, Doctor. Of course, this also means no competition, report cards, or reward and punishment.
Right. What they need is a strict routine.
Blinds are raised at 6:30.
Drink water at 8:45 a.m.
Put away toys at 10:45.
Relaxation occurs at 11:30.
Directed play at 4:30. The end product of my system is the independent child. Outgoing, exploring, and questioning.
But children should be docile, compliant, and obedient to their parents, church, and society.
That's right. My girls should do as they're told. And you're spoiling them.
My name is Marie Annoncion. I am the smallest and frailest, but I like to take chances. Yellow's my favorite color. As with most primitive people, emotion has triumphed over reason with the Dionnes. Consciously or unconsciously, they cannot bear the prospect of their famous children acquiring a culture superior to
him back home to Mama and Papa.
Yes, Mr. Dionne, the whole family will be educated together.
Yes, Mr. Dionne, the Quints will receive instruction only in French.
Go ahead, dear. Tell a nice report of what you told me.
I saw the little tale where they put the Quints when they were naughty. It had a key and a lock. I wouldn't like it at all being shut up in such a place. When I saw that dark room, I almost cried. Someday, the Quints will be back with us, and everything will be perfect.
Your phone was out. It's probably best anyway. He's very ill.
Of course we believe a new big house for all the Dionnes would be in the best interest of all concerned.
All right, let the kids go back to their parents. Just get it done without a mess so the government stays clean. Tell the president it's playing it right all along.
Finally, I've won! The girls are mine! What a victory! Now at last we shall be happy!
Does a new home make a new life for the people of love? If we like it more, if we like it less, can I say I really care? Almost as a time, finally being together. To always says goodbye until we're so forever. I don't think I know if I really want to go where I'm
And here are the bikers reunited with their brothers and sisters after all these years. You can see how happy they are to see their mother and father move into the new house built especially for the whole family. We can now rest assured that our 5 little girls will lead a perfectly normal life.
But how do I know that they'll accept me as their father? That daughter has driven them so far away from me.
They stand now. You don't have to worry about them. Besides,
you are their father.
That's right. I'll make her love me. Come on, children. Your mother and I want you to be close to us. Look, there's nothing to be afraid of. Come downstairs right now.
what is it, Emily? She's shaking and look at her eyes. She should know Papa.
Maybe we should treat her ourselves. He might not like this.
She's had an attack of some kind. Look, it's nothing. We'll go away. I don't want this shameful thing mentioned to outsiders. Do you hear? God, why are you punishing me?
I wish we were back at the nursery.
I often dream of being back there. Yes, so do I.
I'm so tired. I just don't know why we have so many more chores to do than everyone else. And why do we have to do our schoolwork in front of Papa? The others don't have to.
Papa just wants us to love him, I think.
But he's so cold.
I can't feel something that's not there. We don't belong here.
I just feel so guilty. But we didn't do anything.
Yes, we did. We feels to be in love? How does it feel to have a man care for you? How do you know he cares for you because you're Dee, not because you're Quint? You know, they have lived just as many years as I have. But to me, they hadn't lived at all.
We'll turn the nursery into a special school, just for my girls and a few well-chosen outsiders, and then we can keep them at home. Well, they wouldn't cope with the real world outside, it would kill them.
The 5 girls lived at home. They slept there at night, and they would come down to school in the morning. No, excuse me, 4 of them. Emily lived and slept with us at the school. I don't think they felt secure. I think it helped a bit to have us go in and live with them, so that they would know a little of what life was. You know, what living with a family was all about, and what a teenager felt like. But I don't think it prepared them.
Emily was an epileptic. She would have up to 2 or 3 seizures a day in the classroom. Sometimes she'd just sort of froth at the mouth and turn rather bluish. It was rather frightening at first, when we first got there. But then after a while, we can get used to anything. And sometimes a ruler would fall, maybe at the back of the classroom, and every head would turn around thinking, oh, we have to rush to Emily. You see? And it wouldn't be her. And she'd just put her head down and look right down at us and know that she had caused this. We were afraid.
Emily is gone. She of the world-famous Dionne Quintuplets, the only Quintuplets to live to maturity. Now at 20, Emily passes on. A long time, though secret illness, epilepsy, contributing to her death. She was considering entering a convent when her life's chapter closed. And for the Dionne home in Corbeil, come the mourners to gaze for the last time upon Emily. They'd come before so long ago to see the Quintuplets at play. The Dionnes, members of the family and surviving Quintuplets, are in mournful attendance. And so, Emily is laid to rest, and 5 are now 4.
I'm going to art school. What do you have?
No, you're not old enough. That city's dangerous.
I'm going to a convent.
Look, the church doesn't need me yet. You must stay a little while longer, please.
I will become a nurse from Montreal, and so will I.
No, I won't allow it. How dare you disobey me? Don't you know that all they want the best for you?
Goodbye, Papa. You'll never understand. Everybody was there except the twins.
I mean, Christmas, especially in a French-Canadian family, such a family affair. They never showed up.
We weren't surprised when the Quints didn't show at Christmas time. We've realized for months now that the Quints have been drifting away from us. The girls lately have been treating their brothers and sisters with contempt. But they didn't even bother to send a Christmas card.
It was a bitter denunciation, or at least perhaps they didn't intend it as a denunciation at all. But as a statement, he and his wife felt that the Quints had grown very away from them. Well, I went along to that hospital in Montreal, where 2 of the Quints were nursing, and I found Cecile, and I explained why I was there, and she said, we sent a card. We sent a card! And something else, that they hadn't meant to go away from them. It's just that they were busy. And then she went away, crying.
Better come back home.
There they are. We just had a long night.
See if you can get an interview.
I think everything has been written about what's been said. In every paper around the world, I imagine. There was plenty written about what actually went on. But I feel it's time to have a little privacy.
Privacy, Papa? But didn't you ask for the publicity? I suppose the contradictions will always be part of our life. But the one undeniable truth was that we could never reconcile ourselves with our family. And it was not long after that Christmas fiasco that 2 of us got married and began having babies of our own. As hard as I might try, a convent was not for me. But the real tragedy was Marie. She was the prettiest, the most loved, the most protected. All her life, she'd been trying to keep up with the rest of us. After she tried and failed to become a nun, she surprised us all by announcing her plan to go into business. She loved flowers, so she planned to open a flower shop.
You can't just give them away, Marie.
Here's another bill, Marie.
Too many roses, Marie.
You have to check your inventory. These bills have to be paid.
Really is quite simple, Marie. Can't you get it straight?
You've gone bankrupt, Marie. You can't cook. You don't even go look after children. This place is a mess. I got it. I'm leaving.
Please don't get your children, Marie.
You're not equipped to look after them, Marie.
School, please, please. You're disturbing the children.
Yellow place, Marie. I wish you'd never been born with me.
Marie!
Marie.
Marie! Marie!
We're sorry, Marie. We should have been there. We should have been closer together. There's a blood clot to the brain. They said. Don't know whether to believe it or not. It's not long after that that our personal relationships began to crumble. After Cecile's divorce, she moved close to Annette in Montreal. As I did. This just seemed to complicate things for Annette.
It was a bad move because living in St. Bruno, the girls formed the same close circle they'd known when they were younger in Corbeil. I'd say they interfered in our house. If Annette and I decided to do something with the children in the morning, I'd come home in the evening to find she'd changed her mind because she'd been influenced by Yvonne or maybe Cecile. She was spending more and more time with her sisters and less time with us. Finally, I got fed up. I told Annette, your sisters go to this house or I go out myself. I wasn't able to take it anymore. We had a fair talk, and I said, look, I know what you are. I know it wasn't easy for you in the past. But the only way to save our marriage is to sell this house and move on to the circle of you and your sisters. Try and start all over again. In other words, she was being asked to choose between them and me. She wasn't able to make that decision. So it was better for you.
It's easy now. For a stranger to visit Corbeil. Not know that we ever existed. Unless he arrives forewarned. Was curious enough to ask questions. It's unlikely that our name will ever be mentioned to him. There's no